Tonight, 15-year-old Ethan Crumbley
killed 4 of his fellow students.
Tate Myers, Madison Baldwin,
Hannah St. Juliana,
Justin Chilling at Oxford.
The deadly school shooting in Michigan at Oxford,
Michigan.
It's just crazy because people always say it's never going to happen to them, and the fact that it happened to 2 people that I really care about, it's just really hard.
This video covers a very sensitive topic that recently happened and not for the faint of heart. This deals with a lot of violence that has occurred recently. You have been warned. If you haven't been up to date with the recent news, there was a school shooting in Oxford High School located in Michigan, which ended up with 3 deaths. 1 was announced dead the next day, and 7 people were injured. The perpetrator was a 15-year-old named Ethan Crumbley, who ended up shooting up the school on November 30th, which ended up being a shocking tragedy to happen. This case is rather disturbing because this could have been prevented. Personally, I think that due to the parents' negligence, this horrible incident happened. This is truly a sad tale of a disturbed individual who didn't get help when he needed it the most. Currently, Ethan has been detained and is facing 24 charges, including 1 count of terrorism and 4 counts of first-degree murder, which can carry up to a max sentence of life in prison. Ethan is being tried as an adult due to the serious charges. And one of the most shocking things is that his parents are being charged alongside Ethan after they fled and were hiding out. According to authorities, there is more than enough evidence to prove that Ethan's parents played an indirect part in this whole situation, especially when you account that the gun he used on the day of the shooting was bought by his own father. The gun was bought on the 26th of November, days prior to the incident. Ethan had been displaying a lot of concerning behaviors, such as posting on the internet a picture of a gun with a caption that read, "Just got my new beauty today, 6R 9mm. Any questions, I will answer." Ethan was caught searching on the internet for ammunition on the 29th of November, the day prior to the shooting. He was also caught on the 30th, the day of the shooting. He had drawn a violent image in which neither parent had done anything. The school officials have tried to contact the parents. Days prior to the shooting, the school left both a voicemail and an email to the family. And the teacher sent an email warning the parents of Ethan's concerning behaviors on the 29th. What is more bizarre is that Jennifer later allegedly sent a text to Ethan saying, "Lol, I'm not mad at you. You have to learn to not get caught." On the next day, a teacher had discovered the drawing which he took a picture of and reported to the school. In the drawing, he featured a picture of someone shooting at a person, laughing emojis, and disturbing messages such as, "My life is useless," and "The thoughts won't stop. Please help me." This seems to be a cry for help. When he was later confronted about these concerning images, he said that this was for a game he wanted to develop as he had dreams of getting into video game design. The school asked Ethan's parents to send him into counseling immediately. Otherwise, Child Protective Services were going to get involved. Both parents resisted the idea of Ethan leaving school. After the meeting ended at 12 p.m., Ethan was promptly allowed to go back to class. And after this, Ethan went into the bathroom to get his gun from his backpack and proceeded to start the shooting at 1 p.m. Ethan's mother sent a text saying, "Ethan, don't do it," around 1:22 p.m. Meanwhile, his dad drove straight home and reported his gun missing to the authorities. And he also said that the shooter was probably Ethan. I don't want to go into too much details about what had happened at the scene, but Ethan had shot multiple students and shot at the other classrooms, which sent the school into a lockdown. Afterwards, he was promptly arrested by a school resource officer and an additional officer who responded to the scene. After this incident, students, teachers, locals, and parents were affected by this tragedy, and the school is currently trying to recover from this nightmare. Lieutenant Tim Willis of Oakland County Sheriff's Office said that investigators found 2 videos that were taken on Ethan's cell phone which talked about him shooting and killing 2 students at his high school. Also, a journal was found at his house that described what he was going to do. He had decided to shoot up the school and commit murder. Karen McDonald is an Oakland County prosecutor that is in charge of the case regarding the shooting that took place at Oxford High School. She questioned the parents as to why Ethan had access to guns. Legally speaking, his parents technically are responsible for his actions due to the fact that the guns were purchased and made legally, and there is no law that states the guns should be kept away from children. But that does not mean that they are safe from this. The reason why I'm saying this is because Mrs. McDonald claims that this is due to the parents' irresponsibility and mishandling of the weapon. Ethan's father, who's named James Crumbley, is a 45-year-old working as a tech salesman, and his mother, Jennifer Crumbley, is a 43-year-old who worked as a real estate broker. Both parents are currently facing 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. They had both fled, and authorities presumed they had intentions to go to Canada. And since Canada is relatively close to Michigan, it makes sense that they would choose Canada as their destination of escape. Both parents had fled after the shooting, and they were fugitives. He had a search warrant out for the arrest, and a $10,000 reward was offered for any tips regarding their whereabouts. They were later caught, and they were charged on December 4th. The reason as to why authorities think Ethan's parents were attempting to flee is that law enforcement later told news sources that the couple had allegedly withdrawn $4,000 in cash from an ATM, and they later turned off their cell phones so they couldn't be tracked with GPS. Law enforcement thought that the possibility of them attempting to leave Michigan was a possibility. But now everyone is wondering, why did they even attempt to flee? Well, apparently the reason as to why they decided not to turn themselves in was because they were scared for their safety, and that was the reason why they turned themselves in afterwards. But the Oakland County Sheriff's Office has disputed this claim, saying that they were not aware of any arrangements. Chief James White told reporters that a tip came in during the early hours of Saturday morning. Both fugitives appeared to be hiding in the building. Both parents were later taken to Oakland County Jail, which is the same jail their son was residing in. What is the most worrisome part of this whole situation is that the parents got expensive lawyers for themselves and left Ethan to fend for himself. According to Yahoo News, the Crumleys' decision not to pay for their son's defense suggests that they may be trying to distance themselves from any culpability for his alleged actions. Prosecutors are currently trying to convict the parents for involuntary manslaughter. They are currently in jail with a bond of $50,000 for each parent. During the hearing, they both appear to be crying and have pleaded not guilty to all charges. Currently, their attorneys have told authorities they were planning to turn themselves in eventually before they were turned in on Saturday morning, and they have denied any involvement in Ethan's actions. So what that means is that they were not responsible for their son taking the gun out of their safe and taking it to school. Prosecutor Karen McDonald brought charges against the Crumleys, stating that they had bought their son the firearm used in the day of the shooting, and they have ignored multiple warnings about Ethan's troubling behavior. From the looks of things, it looks like the parents are basically throwing their son under the bus in the hopes of saving themselves. I don't really know how this will hold up in court or what can happen, but it seems like their parents battling themselves over their own son. But due to the history and how things have transpired, it looks like there were just too many wrong things with Ethan, and they were all ignored at the time and time again. His now deleted Instagram showcases a lot of disturbing images, so viewer discretion while viewing them, and especially the one about him showing off his new gun, the one that was used in the shooting, of course. Mental health is a topic that should be discussed more among adults due to the fact that our generation has a lot of mental health issues. Parents shouldn't have to deal with the situation, and honestly, I don't even know how I would feel if I was in this situation, knowing that a loved one died due to the fact that someone didn't get adequate help. Mental health is not a joke, and everyone should take it more seriously because incidents like these can happen at any time and can happen to anyone. Ethan was a nobody at school, and many people had stated that he was just a normal kid. He kind of just flew under the radar, basically. Even students who had said that Ethan wasn't bullied at school, but saw signs that he was still a disturbed individual. There are multiple instances of him doing disturbing things, and as well as no one questioning his behaviors about it. I don't really like how things ended. Community torn apart, filled with sadness, grief, remorse, and of course anger due to the actions of a disturbed individual. It is simply too much to take in. I don't really want to talk about gun laws or any rules or politics. I'm simply just discussing what happened earlier last month. Whatever happens to Ethan and his parents is unknown at this time, but what is for sure going to happen is that Ethan is never going to leave prison, but this comes at a cost of the lives of innocent people who aren't any older than I was, as I can relate to them since, of course, I graduated high school as of recently this year, and I have gone through a couple experiences of scares of a school shooting or a threat directly involving me and my peers. The victims had dreams, goals, and aspirations, and all of that was taken away from them. Anyone suffering from mental health, please get help. Mental health disorders are more common than you expect. I will be linking a few hotlines in the description below, but seriously, if you are having issues or bad thoughts, seriously consider getting help from a close loved one or family. And if not, I would rather suggest you to get yourself some help immediately if you are having any terrible thoughts or any mental disorders flaring up. Now guys, this is the end of the video. If you liked this video, please give it a like. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
And chain fangs, got an OnlyFans, fucking on a succubus. I feel like I'm devil man, bloody when I'm up in there, harnessed with a pentagram. How you get a black hole independent, it was in the plan.